Hello, welcome to the next lesson. This is AJ from effortlessenglishclub.com. Let's start our next lesson, the Attractor Factor. The Attractor Factor is the name of a book by Joe Vitale. Joe Vitale is an interesting man. He is an internet marketer and businessman. He's kind of a marketing expert, especially for internet marketing. But he also writes about very general topics about, how to achieve your goals, how to reach your dreams in life. And he's a very, very positive man. He's got a lot of energy, very interesting and creative guy. And I really like him. I use some of his information, some of the skills that he teaches. I use it for my own business, for my own internet marketing. And he wrote this book, The Attractor Factor, as a more general book to help everybody get what they want in life, to help everybody, achieve their dreams. And The Attractor Factor, it's quite simple book and a very simple idea, and yet it's very powerful. And Joe believes that we attract things to our life. And how do we do that? With our thinking and our emotion. So for example, if we always think very positive thoughts and we always have very strong positive emotions, he believes we will attract positive things and positive people into our life. On the other hand, if we think about negative things, problems all the time, and we're always feeling negative, frustrated, angry, sad, depressed, then we will attract more negative stuff into our life. It's the basic idea of the attractor factor. And so, he states very strongly and clearly that we have to be careful what we focus on, what we think about, and which feelings we feel during every day. Because, of course, we want to bring positive things into our life, things and people and events. So I'm going to read a little bit from the Attractor Factor, and then I'll talk more about it. Here we go. Most people I talk to every day know what they don't want. I don't want this backache. I don't want this headache. I don't want these bills. I don't want to struggle in my business. You know the list. You have one of your own. Unfortunately, that's where most of us stop. The nature of our conversations, the nature of our newspaper reporting, the nature of our radio and television shows and our talk shows surround us with ideas of what we don't want. It feels good to complain. We don't feel alone. We feel heard. We feel relieved. We feel understood. Sometimes we even get answers that make our problems easier. But what we don't realize is that we are activating the attractor force in a negative way. When we say, I don't want these bills, our focus is on bills. The spirit of life will deliver whatever you focus on. So if you're talking about your bills, you'll get more bills. You'll attract it by spending energy on it. Most people live on the level of fear. As Eleanor Moody wrote, let us remember that fear is only wrongly directed faith. We are having faith in things we do not want, rather than having faith in things we desire. Again, this is the level most people live at. It isn't bad. It just isn't very positive. And it probably isn't getting you the health, wealth, or happiness you want. Unfortunately, we seldom take this process to level 2. It's a rare person. It's a special person who will stop complaining, stop fighting, stop fearing long enough to focus on the opposite of what they are experiencing. Yet this level brings miracles and the manifestations that we want. Knowing what you don't want is the springboard to your miracles. It's the springboard to knowing what you do want. Knowing what you don't want is simply your current reality. And current reality can be changed. So it's important as a first step to remove negativity. One way to protect yourself from the negative influences of the world is to abstain from them. I remember reading how Jack Canfield forbid any negativity in his office. I love the idea. I don't watch the news or read the newspapers. Because after a while, you begin to see how you are given only one-sided, very negative news. None of the news is designed to help your well-being. But you also have to watch your friends. The people around you will share their views of the world with you. And sometimes it's not easy to separate their views from your view. If your friends are very negative, you must be very, very careful. Okay, that's the end of the section from The Attractor Factor by Joe Vitale. And so he's really just talking about negative thinking, negative focus. And Joe Vitale and many, many, many others talk about this same very basic idea. You get what you focus on. If you focus on problems, you get more problems. If you focus on being poor, you stay poor. If you focus on not having enough money, you continue to not have enough money. Thinking can create reality, is the idea. What you focus on becomes real and stays real. So he's saying if you focus on negative things, you get more of those negative things. So what's important is to change from negative focus to positive focus. For example, don't focus on being fat. You say, oh, I'm fat. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be fat. You will attract more fatness. You will stay fat. Why? Because you're focused on fat. You're focused on being fat. You've got to change that a little bit and make it a positive focus. So, for example, you say, I want to be strong, healthy, and thin. It's a small change. It's really easy to do, but it will make a big difference. So you start focusing all your mental energy on being strong, healthy, thin, strong, healthy, thin, strong, healthy, thin. That's what you focus on. As you focus every day, every moment, every hour, every minute on being strong and healthy and thin, you will attract strength, happiness, and thinness into your life. In other words, your brain will start to find solutions. Your brain will take the appropriate actions to get what you are focusing on. So be very careful about this. It's okay, as a first step, step 1, decide what do you not want? What are you sick of in your life? That's fine. You could say, I'm sick of being bad at English. I'm sick of being a terrible speaker. Okay, that's okay. That's step one. But you have to go to step two, to level two. And that is decide what you do want. What's the positive thing you want? That's what you got to focus on all the time. So you decide, I will speak excellent English. And every minute and every day and every month and every year, you focus on the positive thing. I will speak excellent English. I will speak excellent English. You don't think about the problems. You don't think about the mistakes. You don't think about the negative bad thing that you don't want. You focus on the positive thing that you do want. And, it's easy to fall into the negative thinking. I do it too. With the business, sometimes I'll think, oh, we're having problems. We don't have enough sales this week. And then I'm thinking all week, we don't have enough sales. We don't have enough sales. We don't have enough sales. That's what I'm focusing on. What happens? We continue to have low sales. And so I have to, smack myself in the face, jump around, do something to break my negative thinking, and I focus then on the positive. We will have great sales this week. We will have great sales every month. Our sales are increasing. And I think about that again and again. I actually made a little picture. I put it on the wall with our sales goal. We will have this many sales every week. And I look at that and I remind myself of the positive goal, the positive thing. And so, our business does get better. I'm focused on solutions. I'm focused on the positive, not just complaining. So that's the basic idea. Very, very simple, but it can make a very big change in your life if you do it constantly, all the time. So good luck. Please do this. Take your negative complaining beliefs and ideas and statements and change them into positive statements, what you do want. And then every day, focus on those things that you do want. You will bring those things to you just by focusing on them. You don't have to do anything else. Just by focusing on them every day, all the time, they will come to you. And that is the end of The Attractor Factor by Joe Vitale. See you for the vocabulary lesson. Bye-bye. Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to the mini story for Attractor Factor. Let's begin. There was a cat named Eve. Was Eve a doggy? She was not a doggy. She was a cat. Eve was a cat. She was a cat who decided to abstain from eating mice. What did she abstain from? She abstained from eating mice. Did she abstain from eating chicken, or did she abstain from eating mice? Well, she abstained from eating mice. Who abstained from eating mice? Well, Eve the cat, decided to abstain from eating mice. So, did Eve eat mice? No, she didn't. She did not. She abstained from eating mice. She did not eat mice. What was Eve? A cat. Eve was a cat. Did she eat mice? No, she didn't. She abstained from eating mice. She did not eat mice. In fact, Eve was a mom. And she forbid her kittens from eating mice also. Who did she forbid from eating mice? Her kittens, her little baby cats. She forbid her kittens from eating mice also. Did Eve's kittens eat mice? No, they didn't. Why not? Because Eve forbid them to eat mice. She said, "You cannot eat mice." Who did she forbid from eating mice? Her kittens. Eve forbid her kittens from eating mice too. So did Eve eat mice? No, she didn't. Did her kittens eat mice? No, they didn't. Neither Eve nor her kittens ate mice. So, Eve abstained from eating mice for a long time. And she felt great. She felt really healthy. How did Eve feel after abstaining from eating mice? Well, she felt great. She felt very healthy. Why did she feel healthy? Because she abstained from eating mice. How about her kittens? They felt healthy too. They also felt healthy because they also abstained from eating mice. Of course, they abstained because Eve forbid them to eat mice. So how did she feel, Eve? She felt fantastic. She felt great. In fact, this was the springboard to a whole new life for Eve. Was this the beginning of a whole new life? Yes, it was. It was the beginning of a whole new life for Eve. It was the springboard, the sudden, powerful beginning to a whole new life. Was it a slow beginning or a sudden, fast, powerful beginning? It was a sudden, fast, powerful beginning. It was a springboard to a whole new life for Eve. What was a springboard to a whole new life for Eve? Well, not eating mice, abstaining from mice was the springboard, the sudden beginning to a whole new life. Next, she abstained from eating fish too. Wow, what did she abstain from next? She abstained from fish. She abstained from eating fish next. So she abstained from eating mice. And then next, because she felt great, she abstained from eating fish. What about her kittens? Well, she forbid them from eating fish too. She forbid them from eating mice, and then next, she forbid them from eating fish. They all abstained from eating fish. They all abstained from eating mice. And how did they feel? Wow, they felt super great. No fish, no mice. They felt fantastic, very, very healthy. So this was the springboard for another change, the sudden beginning of another change. So finally, Eve stopped drinking beer. Because, of course, Eve drank beer every day. She loved to drink beer. Eve was a big beer-drinking cat. Of course, most cats do like to drink beer. But Eve decided to abstain from beer also. What did she abstain from next? Beer. Eve abstained from beer. No more beer for Eve. Oh, very difficult. But she stopped drinking beer. Who abstained from drinking beer? Eve. Eve abstained from drinking beer. Did she forbid her kittens to drink beer? No, she decided to let her kittens continue drinking beer. So her kittens continued to drink beer, but she abstained from drinking beer. How did she feel after abstaining from beer? She felt fantastic, super fantastic, outstanding. Eve felt outstanding after abstaining from drinking beer. Why did she feel outstanding? Well, because she abstained from beer. She felt outstanding because she abstained from beer. Who did not abstain from drinking beer? Oh, her baby kittens. Her baby kittens did not abstain from drinking beer. Did her baby kittens continue to drink beer? Yes, they did. They continued to drink beer. Why did they continue to drink beer? Well, because obviously, baby kittens need beer to grow. Eve did not need beer because she was already big. But her babies needed beer so they could continue to grow. So who abstained from beer? Eve. Eve abstained from beer. Who didn't abstain from beer? Her kittens. Her kittens didn't abstain. Eve did abstain from drinking beer. And of course, Eve and all her kittens became very healthy, very strong, and very happy. The end. That is the end of the mini story for Attractor Factor. Listen to it several times every day for 7 days, 14 days, or more. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to the POV, Point of View mini stories for Attractor Factor. Let's begin. Since 10 years ago, starting 10 years ago, Eve has felt bad. She has felt tired every day. She has had no energy. This started 10 years ago. Before 10 years ago, she felt great. But since 10 years ago, until now, until recently, she has felt very tired. She has not had energy. She hasn't had energy. In fact, starting 10 years ago, she has gotten sick all the time. Right? She has frequently gotten sick since 10 years ago until recently. And during that time, she has tried many different things. She tried exercise one time. Did not help. She tried various medicines and drugs, but none of them helped. So, since 10 years ago, during this time, she has been very frustrated. She has been frustrated because she felt bad. She has been frustrated because she couldn't find a solution. Until one day, she decided to abstain from eating mice. So on that day, she decided, no more mice. She was surprised. After a few days, she felt better. And she felt better and stronger and more healthy. It was amazing. And so she forbid her kittens from eating mice too. And they began to feel healthier and stronger. She thought, wow! And this became the springboard for a whole new healthy life. It was the sudden beginning of a whole new healthy life. Abstaining from mice was the springboard to a whole new healthy life for Eve and for her kittens. And so next, she abstained from eating fish too, and she felt even better. So she forbid her kittens from eating fish, and they felt even better. Wow. She was feeling great. So finally, she decided to abstain from drinking beer. She stopped drinking beer. No more beer. And she felt outstanding! Now, of course, she did not forbid her kittens from drinking beer, because we all know that kittens need beer to grow. So her kittens continued to drink beer, but they abstained from mice and they abstained from fish, and they felt great too. And so, as a result, Eve and all her kittens became healthy and happy and had lots and lots of energy. All right, that's the end of our first story. Next, we're going to the future. This is an idea for a future story. I'm going to tell you about a story that might happen in the future. For example, there will be a cat named Eve. She's going to be sick all the time. In fact, she will have been sick for maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. So she will have been sick that entire time, starting 10 years in the past and then going up to the present. So she'll have been sick for a long time. But one day, she's going to decide to abstain from eating mice. She will stop eating mice. And she's going to feel better. She'll feel more healthy. She'll have more energy. She'll stop getting sick. So, she'll forbid her kittens from eating mice also. And they're going to feel great. They're going to feel stronger and healthier and have more energy too. So this will become the springboard to a whole new life for Eve and her kittens. The beginning, the sudden, powerful beginning of a whole new life, the springboard. So next, she's gonna abstain from eating fish too. She'll stop eating fish and she'll feel even better, more energy, more health, feeling fantastic. So of course, she'll forbid her kittens from eating fish. And they'll feel better, more energy, more fantastic. And finally, she'll make a very difficult and big decision. She'll abstain from drinking beer. She'll stop drinking beer. Now, of course, she won't forbid her kittens from drinking beer because kittens need beer to grow. But Eve will stop. She'll stop drinking beer. And the result? Eve's gonna feel super amazing, outstanding. Her kittens will feel outstanding. They will all be healthy and energetic and have a lot of energy and just feel fantastic. They're gonna be super fantastic, healthy cats. And that is the end of the POV stories for Attractor Factor. I hope you're feeling strong and healthy too. Deep breath, move your body, big smile. See you next time. Bye-bye.